Arc Raiders' next major update is in October sometime, and frankly, I haven't been expecting much in the meantime. With an announced cadence of 3 weeks per live update, those live updates usually having more minor items like a project or event, we're in kind of a stasis, coasting along. However, with yesterday's update, it broke from the ordinary a bit, offering a part 1 of a project not in a live update week, promising more to uncover in that next live update on the 18th. So, kind of strange to begin with, but I've got this hunch that it's kind of hinting towards more. Not like massive content drop more, but more than just the normal update that we've seen the last few months, adding smaller things like bug fixes and shop updates, and a little more stuff here and there. Today, I wanted to run you through the thought process of such a theory, perhaps even the logic behind it, and what eventually we may see on the 18th. Drop your thoughts below, drop a like if you enjoy the video, subscribe to the channel for more Arc Raiders and other FPS content, and keep an eye out on the streams. We've been live on Arc about every other day here as of late. I'd love to chat with you. And finally, check out my friends over at Advanced GG, where code Espresso can get 10% off your entire order, but more on that later. For now, let's get into it. So of course, we did, as of yesterday's update, get a new project, the Phantom Targets project. This is part 1, part 2 unlocks in just 2 weeks time, or just shy of that, and part 1 comes in 3 pages. Page 1 is pretty simple, just visit and upgrade the antennas of the elevators on Riventides, Spaceport, or Dam Battlegrounds. You just need to interact with that and you're good to go. 3 of those, done. I will say the one interesting part about this project is you do have to manually complete the page when you do it, so just keep that in mind as well. Page 2 and 3, admittedly, it's not just as simple as visit quests or gather items as it has been in the past, but it still can get a little tedious. Page 2 requires 50 damage to arc with pop triggers, 500 with wasp drivers, and 1000 with leaper pulse units. What I'd personally recommend for the pop triggers and wasp drivers is to incapacitate a bombardier or bastion, as you'll have 5 to 10 seconds to stand there without any damage and get close to them and activate either the pop triggers or throw the wasp drivers to then shoot them. I did see mentioned in the community though about talking about how throwing those wasp drivers in the line of those larger arc or directly underneath and then throwing something like the pulse drivers will actually activate that as well, but whichever feels more comfortable to you. And page 3 requires 1500 damage to arc with fire, so your blaze grenades, flame spray or fireball and firefly burners, 3 bastions, leapers, vaporizers or rocketeers with energy ammo to be destroyed, and 20 flying arc with rocket ammo to be destroyed. So the fire damage, blaze grenades, fireball burners, all that kind of stuff on your larger arc, bastions, bombardiers, matriarchs, queens, all of those do great because they can withstand it. Expose the cores, that's the best, but make sure you're not throwing them all at once. It doesn't appear that that damage stacks, so you just be kind of wasting resources. Your bastions, leapers, vaporizers, or rocketeers, that actually needs to be the kill shot, it appears, with the energy ammo, so not just the majority. I'd suggest doing near lethal damage to something with like a hull cracker, patina, anvil, something like that, shooting off the thrusters, then taking it down, however you want to go about it, then killing it with the energy weapon of your choice, though it's not necessarily needed. Like, you can Jupiter the whole thing from afar and maybe take out a rocketeer or vaporizer before it really becomes a threat. Again, multiple ways to end up tackling that. And then the flying arc, you can take out anything in the air with rocket ammo, but wasps and such are obviously the easiest, most abundant in areas, and one shot with the hull cracker, and that's how you complete it. But here's the thing, while you may be focused on the rewards that you end up getting for each of those pages of completions for this new project, did you notice that the boards update progressively on the project display? It's not out of the ordinary for Embark to kind of build things progressively. We've seen that happen with a lot of the different projects that we've had in the past as you complete each page, but this one kind of tells a little bit more of a story, it seems like. On this board, once complete, you can see things like a coffee cup full to circled empty. Probably a playful little scribble. The full cup came after that, actually. So, seems like Shawnee got her refill. There was an antenna with a frequency scribble, a check mark likely meaning that nothing's running out of sorts. There were testing madness scribbles of wasps with ammo types below it, to the side of test wasp resilience, no bueno. Apollo apparently has all the markers in Speranza, but most noteworthy to me were 2 things in particular. Number 1, in the upper right corner is a post-it note that appears after completing page 1 that says, "For the last time, guys, if anyone has info about a secret underground blank society forming after hours, please report it to Shawnee." Lore-wise, this could be something that we need to expand upon, but I don't think that we need to dive deeper into that at this point. I could be wrong. Maybe this is a much bigger thing that has an immediate focus, but to me, it falls secondary. But the other item of interest to me only appears after completing page 3, crossing out the testing hypotheses, it looks like, in that main box drawing, and adding a new character that looks to be throwing something with calculations of 398 meters per second and a DV value of roughly 75 meters per second. Now, I do have to preface this with, again, what I think is theory. Whether or not it happens, we'll have to wait and see, and I have no prior knowledge at this, so it's just a shot in the dark based off of context clues. And secondly, I want to reiterate, whatever this is, I think it's still going to be a very small fish compared to October's update. I don't think we're going to be getting some massive content drop on the 18th that's going to bring everybody back or anything like that. I think this is just something that may end up being a little more, and they're having some playful fun with this. I'd love to be wrong. I'd love for this obviously to be a massive update, but I don't think that's going to be the case. So I have two prevailing theories about what this could be. Number one, I think this could be a new arc or the evolution of an existing one. With all the marketing here for this, it makes it seem like something is just hidden out of reach. Something's off with the topside and Speranza. Phantom targets as the name, checking the antennas of the elevators for Shawnee's monitoring, making sure that everything is working properly, testing core efficiencies against other arc enemies. Something enemy related just feels afoot to me. With the name of Phantom Targets, I'd infer that it's something of a stealthy arc, something cloaked perhaps a wasp of some kind that has a cloaking mechanism. Personally, I could see this. It's a subtle variation of an existing arc that, from a developmental standpoint, is a low-lift type of job. You're not pulling devs or resources away from the big one in October, but it offers a new way to interact with the game, and a wasp is, well, it's not going to annihilate you like a Bastion, Bombardier, Rocketeer, Turbine, or anything would, that if it were to sneak up on you, it'd be the end of the world. It'd be the end of that run, you lose all your stuff. It's an arc that has the lowest output of damage, so adding an element of risk to an otherwise basically harmless arc at this point. The second theory I have is that it could be a new utility item of some sort. Drivers have been the focus of many crafting items in the game, so our focus on getting all these other types of drivers interacting with stuff that otherwise, again, for most people would be useless. Even post-launch, they added things like to the recipes for the Wolfpack, requiring a Rocketeer driver in the Shrouded Sky update. So with a focus on what appears to be a driver of some kind, perhaps it's something that becomes more advantageous of an existing recipe or a new item entirely, something focused perhaps on efficiently taking out or debuffing existing arcs out there, hence all this testing, why they may need it to work. Maybe it's something that is, I don't know, like an EMP that will also stun, similar to how a showstopper will, but in a different fashion, or it could be something else entirely. Like, that's just off the dome what it could be when you're dealing with some of these cores and testing it on all of these other different arcs. Not to mention, if that scribble is somebody actually throwing something again, you'd think that'd be a utility item of some kind, no? Or at least a new use for something that's existing. It has been a little while since we've had any new item of any kind, since the Rascal and the Mark III smoke augment in mid-May, that it wouldn't surprise me if an item of some kind is up on deck here. But then again, I mean, isn't it possible it could be both? When considering these options, the crafting and the yield items in the game, I don't think that it's out of the realms of possibilities for there to be a new arc and an arc driver that goes along with that grants a new core to craft a new item. I mean, even our last arc introduced of the turbine, that turbine compressor then went to crafting the new powered descender that we had with the Riventides update. But again, all just theory. Here's the thing, this could entirely be wrong. I could just be losing my mind at this point, just looking for any reason to be like, hey, new stuff coming, guys. But I don't know, it just seems a little too methodical, a little too played out in the sense that it's too perfect. I don't think they'd end up doing all of this if we didn't see something more than just like the second part of the project. Like, why not just roll out part 2 of the project if there wasn't something else associated with it? Why have this draw of leading towards what this project will be even last week when we haven't seen too much more beyond that? Of course, this all could be pushing towards the October update, but I kind of think that it's going to be in 2 weeks' time. Something like a new camouflaged wasp with a new cell or driver or new item to come along with it. If we're going to get another content update, this is probably the closest we'll end up having as an open window of opportunity, given that what we've seen in recent months and as we shift gears to fully getting ready for the Frozen Trail update in October. Since the announcement of how the content drops would be changing in mid-May, they lowered expectations quite a bit, right? But we've still seen some stuff here and there. Some stuff. The Ermal update was actually a surprisingly larger one comparative by the week before being like, yeah, we're not going to throw anything out there in terms of larger content. And then the next week they drop something that's semi-foundational as a new trader. And then we had a new weapon, a new augment in that same update as well. We've also seen since that point a project in mid-June that lasted until July recently and a new project that started yesterday. Then we had the Expedition Reset sprinkled in there that wasn't necessarily new content, but like if you're goal-oriented, it gave you a reason to play again if you did the Expedition. So while all low maintenance items, all requiring little dev pool from the big picture stuff in October, it's possible we could see another low lift update once again, and any closer, from a marketing perspective, you start to run the risk of bleeding into the big one. Toss a few more crumbs out there to keep the path going towards the October update, but then you start to focus your messaging on what's upcoming, teasing it, putting out trailers, stuff like that, until all eventually you have the big one ready to launch. But again, all theory, and maybe again I'm just reading too far into it. I have been having fun with Arc again, doing some stuff with the reset and all that, and I'm just a relatively positive person, so maybe I'm reading too far into it. But what do you think? Do you think this could be something a little bit more? Do you think we could have something on the 18th that's a bit more than just a new project, a new event or something like that? Let me know. Now, before we wrap everything up, a quick heads up, we've partnered with our friends over at Advanced GG, a bit under the radar here the last few months, but we're ramping things up now, going into a crazy busy fall with multiple large game updates for games like Arc Raiders and future seasons of Battlefield 6, new launches in Modern Warfare 4 and GTA 6, and everything in between. Advanced is the healthier energy supplement option. I use it as my daily comparable cup of coffee, currently drinking the Raspberry Lemonade and Magic Rainbow Sherbet as two of my personal favorite flavors that I'd highly recommend. And on that note, we've actually co-branded the Rainbow Sherbet along with a few other items on their site, like a 26-ounce ice shaker cup. But for real, I love this stuff, and if you're looking for a replacement for your own cups of coffee, give this a try, check it out, or grab a restock here before the craziness of all the games and updates coming later this fall. And if you decide to, Code Espresso can get 10% off your entire order, but no pressure at all. Just appreciate you checking it out, and of course, checking out the video. But for now, that's what we're gonna call it. So let me know your thoughts down below. What do you think of this theory? Do you think we'll get something a little more? Let me know. If you guys enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. Of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so almost a single thing running all things Arc Raiders and even more FPS content. We've got a very busy fall upcoming, so I'd love to have you in the community. But for now, thanks so much for watching. Mine has been Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.